Okay.
Whatever.
Are you guys ready for this?
Wow. Yeah.
Am I ready for this?
I don't know. Are we?
Whatever.
If it gets, off the rails, we can.
I thought I would wear the neat shirt today. His was what, yellow?
Okay.
Last one.
Okay, but we're all somewhat ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll fake it till we make it. Let's do it.
Whatever.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the local lens, Lawrenceville Unfiltered. My name is Louie Campbell, and you, sir?
Dwayne Volkman.
And you, sir?
Keith Bellinger.
Gavin's brother, right?
Yes.
Gavin's brother, okay. So, it's become a practice of the podcast. We do a recap of city council meetings here in Lawrenceville on the episode immediately following the city council meeting, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to be recapping the April 9th, 2026 meeting of the City Council of Lawrenceville. As every meeting does, it starts out with a prayer and pledge of allegiance. Do a roll call. There was a new name on the roll call this month. New council member seated in Ward 1.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good conversation with him after the meeting. Really nice guy. So then the recognition of visitors that wanted to address the council. It turned out there were only 2 people who addressed the council this month, and both of the guilty parties are in this room. Me and you, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Then on to the minutes of the regular council meeting from March 16th. Those were approved. Bills of the city, sewer, and water departments. And Dwayne, you had some questions for the mayor about some of the bills and some of the accounting procedures. You remember that?
Right. Through information that you've uncovered recently, we've come across some past due bills, which oftentimes includes late payment. I'm not suggesting it's that way every time, but I was somewhat surprised about that because the mayor had brought that to my attention many years ago, and we had a brief conversation about it, and he was concerned about it. And I know that it's not his position to pay the bills. That is Mr. Nolan's job as the city clerk. But I offered up some suggestions that I thought might help, some better tracking mechanisms. And it's still happening apparently. It might mean that Mr. Nolan needs help. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be a better system in place to track these bills.
Didn't the city clerk?
It's not the first time we've come across it.
Didn't the city clerk used to have an assistant?
I don't know. I do not know.
I thought they did. I thought that Jan Lastly used to work for the city in that capacity to help to work with the city clerk, or maybe I'm not sure where.
She did work there, yes.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know what capacity this was many years ago. But maybe that's something that we need to look into. At the time that the mayor brought it to my attention, the mayor brought up a figure of he thought we were paying around $500 a month in late fees. That's significant. I wouldn't want to pay that if it was my personal bills, let alone if it was a business I was running. And the point is, the mayor is essentially he's the CEO of the city, right?
Yep, he is the chief executive.
I know that's not his elected position to do, but he's the CEO of the city, and he should be proactive in assisting even another elected official in managing the city and making it run more smoothly.
Is the load of the city clerk just too much?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm a council member. I'm there, essentially, obviously lately doing a lot more work behind the scenes, but that's not our full-time job. We're there to make recommendations, to observe, and to make recommendations on things whenever we see fit. I did, and apparently they fell on deaf ears. So I doubt very much when I walked out of the meeting with the mayor that time many years ago that it went any further than that. That's my thought, but maybe I'm wrong. But the point is, it's still happening.
Yeah, and we should explore the option of getting some help at City Hall.
Right.
For more than one reason.
To address the problem, you got to find out what the problem is. Then you got to come up with different solutions. Run those solutions by different people. I mean, I've owned several businesses in the past. This isn't rocket science. And I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I can figure out that if you got a problem, let's address it.
Yeah.
You don't just sweep it under the rug.
Say there's no problem.
Right.
Right.
Kind of like a little bit what you talked about, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I know what I would do if I was running the thing. If I was in his position, I'm not. I don't want that position. I don't ever want that position. But I'm happy to help anyone who is in that position if they'll listen.
And that's the important part, is listen.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So next we had a treasurer's report. City Treasurer John White gave a report about some CDs, and I don't remember all the specifics. You guys recall much?
He said none of them are coming up for.
No, he said there were like 6, I think, coming up soon.
Oh, soon, but he just said
Next-
right now they're not, but they are.
I think in a month or so.
Oh, a month is okay.
And he's going to look into renewing them. Some of them can be used to pay bills, I think. I'll bring that up again next month if necessary.
Yeah, he seems to be proactive in the position that he's in. I like that. I like that very much.
He's at every meeting. That's not been the case in the past. I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Under new business, there was an audit proposal, and the audit proposal was to have Kemper continue in that position to do audits for the city. And I believe that was unanimously approved by the council.
Yeah.
It was.
Next up was Armory roof repairs bid. There was a bid. There were several bids, but one that was a recommended bid by our architectural firm to have 2 sections of the roof of the Armory repaired. Essentially, the reason
2 of 4.
Yeah, 2 of 4.
Yeah.
The reason for 2 instead of just 1 section was because it made more financial sense for any company doing the bidding to do 2 sections while basically under one job, one visit, because it was just cheaper for them to do that.
Right.
And it was cheaper for the city as well. And I don't recall the vote on that. Was that also unanimous?
Yeah, I think
Approval?
so. I think
Okay.
it was. Yeah.
Okay. Next was an interesting one, water department discussion, and I want to preface the water department discussion with some news that occurred in Lawrenceville yesterday. Our water department superintendent, Aaron Tipsword, was in a vehicle accident and was arrested for driving under the influence.
He's okay though.
He's okay,
Thank goodness.
uninjured, thank God.
And thank God no one else was involved, no other vehicles.
Nobody else was involved. And I've had a little bit of pushback from members of the community why I report about that. I run the Lawrence County, Illinois news page on Facebook. For those who don't know, they have just over 8,000 followers now. It's steadily growing. And the reason is real simple why I covered that. It's because Aaron is a public figure. He is a city employee, and it was newsworthy. And Dwayne, I got to say, you're my friend. I respect you.
Okay.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not been paid to say that.
Sometimes I wonder.
I have not been paid to say that.
kidding.
No, but I will accept all donations. So, but you are an elected council member of the city. You're a city official. If you
How
were
much does it
arrested,
take for you to say that?
well, how much you got there?
Yeah, how much you got there?
But if you were arrested for a DUI, I would report on that because it's newsworthy because of your position.
And not only you, but I would imagine Waco is going to report on it. I would imagine other news agencies will report on it.
Yeah.
But yes, I can. I people who come at you for reporting that, I believe that their heart's not in the right place. In that they want to come at you personally. I think
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Some of them.
Some
Some of them just want to come at you personally. They want to find every opportunity to. Now, some of them may not be coming at you personally. They may be thinking, "Hey, you're condemning someone for making a mistake." And you and I talked about this before the meeting, or before this podcast.
Right.
We've all done things in the past we're not proud of.
Nope. Right.
But you know, at the time that we're doing them, friends, foes, family, they're within their rights to point things out as it's happening.
Well, like you said,
It's
if you're
once-
an elected official and you get a DUI, we should say something. If I did, they should say something.
Yeah,
If
you're,
Aaron
you're a
Tipsworth,
pastor of a church.
right? If Aaron Tipsworth did, and we're not going to you personally. We're not attacking you personally.
Yeah.
We're not attacking Aaron. We're not attacking.
Right, but he
Not as
is. He is, as any citizen, afforded the presumption of innocence.
Yeah, oh
he
yeah.
is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Yeah.
But it was a newsworthy thing. I had multiple people reach out to me with pictures and videos before I had posted about it. I confirmed it with the sheriff's department. I called the sheriff's department, the jail,
To make sure.
and to confirm that this was in fact the truth. Because I didn't want to post anything negative, and I did include that he is presumed innocent. However, it is important to note that under Illinois law, he may have his an arrest can trigger an automatic suspension, not a conviction, but an automatic suspension of his driving privileges for 1 or up to 3 years. 6 months to a year for first offense, but if he's had more than 1 in 20 years, which he has a conviction for DUI dating back to May of 2010, and that conviction qualifies him as a repeat offender, so he may face suspension of 1 to 3 years. And why is that important to the people of Lawrenceville? Because he has an important job, and he has to drive city-owned vehicles. So our insurance, I'm sure our insurance isn't going to allow him to drive our vehicles without a license.
Yeah, without a license.
Or with a DUI arrest and or conviction. So the mayor's going to have to make the decision, do we continue having him in his position, or do we hire a driver to ferry him around the city so he can do his job? And at some point you have to wonder, when does it become enough?
Yeah. When is it such a detriment to the city, that you let when is someone such a detriment to the city that you let them go?
Yeah.
That's the question. Yeah.
But his discussion from the water department was in regards to water quality, because there's been a lot of speculation on social media, specifically on Facebook, about people's fear or distrust of our water quality. And we've stated on this podcast that the EPA requires us to send our water off to third-party labs for testing.
Right.
And those tests come back well within legal limits of all contaminants. So our water, according to third-party laboratory testing,
Is good.
is safe to drink.
Yes.
Safe to cook with, safe to shower with.
As Teresa said, she drinks it all the time. So.
Drinks it all the time. She held up her water bottle.
Yes, she did.
And that's a healthy habit.
Yes, that's a healthy habit.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So,
And that's fine for her to say that. I doubt that she's done any testing. She didn't offer up that information, and I doubt that she's read all the information that we and the EPA have provided her on the water plant. So I wonder why she even offered up that comment. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she has read all the information. But you're right. It's not the water quality. We've never questioned the water quality. Nope. It's the trust of the individual running our sewer, our water plant.
yeah. Well,
That's what community members are. But I want to wrap up that other conversation real quick. I don't feel like we wrapped that up. You reported that because it was newsworthy, and yes, to some degree, it's a little more newsworthy than in some other instances.
Because of his position.
As a pastor, if you were to get the same thing, it would be a little bit more newsworthy.
It would be.
I bet you people would talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with pointing, with reporting the news.
Correct.
You are a news page. So I want to wrap that up. We're not condemning him. We're just saying, hey, at some point, Mr. Mayor, when a person in a high position in the city is just causing the city so much scrutiny and so many problems, at some point you just gotta cut ties. So I wanted to wrap that up as I did that. So back to the water plant. It's important to note there has been, I think it's 29. Is it 22 or 29?
Over 20 for sure.
It was over 20 violations by the EPA. And by the way, the EPA is not taking their marching orders from us. Contrary to what some
We are
people might
peons to
think.
the EPA.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Contrary to what Victor Fritz might think when he made the accusation that the ridiculous accusation that I have bribed an EPA agent. I've offered up him the opportunity or I've asked for him to offer up any proof, and he had none. I asked the mayor outright if he thought I was, and the mayor said no. Now, the EPA has issued 20-something violations, ranging from not getting proper permits to do different things to problems with the infrastructure. Okay, so if he's not running it correctly, or there wouldn't have been that many violations.
Right, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so what happened after that? The city offered up a compliance commitment agreement.
Yep.
And what happened there?
The EPA declined to enter into the CCA with the city and instead chose to refer it to prosecutorial authorities for enforcement.
Okay.
And why did they do that?
It's my opinion that they don't trust, they don't like the promises made in the compliance commitment agreement. They don't think it goes far enough to address the issues, but it's also entirely possible that they don't trust the city leadership's judgment in keeping a person with so many violations and having his certification pulled under his wastewater in charge of the water as well.
Right, because that came after the wastewater. There's been 3 compliance commitment agreements. The first one was from an April. We covered this in our last podcast. The first one was from a visit they made to a neighborhood.
Yes.
In April. They accepted that one, and they didn't accept the one for the sewer plant. That's when his license, they sent out the letter saying they're going to revoke his license for 3 years. And we found out that at the last meeting he did not appeal that decision. So,
He did not.
And so those 2 things happened. Then you have the water plant inspection, 20-something violations. It's a reasonable assumption that some of the reason why they didn't accept that compliance commitment agreement might be because they questioned the person who's in charge of the plant.
You know, it's
which we've all said, Mr. Mayor, if you'd have dealt with this at the beginning, it's quite possible. It's possible the EPA, it's a little, I'm going to leave it at the word possible. I've spoken to someone who's worked with the EPA in the past, and they've said, hey, the EPA might have been a little bit more willing to work with you all had you taken that step early on and shown them that you're going to replace.
It shows seriousness, yeah. And you bring up the fact that he did not contest or ask for a meeting or a hearing to appeal the suspension or revocation of his sewer certification.
Right.
It's really important to note that in the notice sent to him, thank you, the EPA told him in their notice to operator, if you fail to file a written response or a hearing request within 21 days from receipt of the complaint for sanctions, all facts alleged in the complaint for sanctions shall be deemed to have been admitted. Then later on it says, if you take no action within 21 days of receipt of the complaint for sanctions, the Illinois EPA will assume all facts contained within the complaint are true in preparing a final decision. And this is a recurring theme on our podcast. Keith is leaving the room because he's dying.
Yeah, let's let him do this thing.
We'll continue here. So the water department discussion, we're not. I'm not even sure the word is escaping me. We're not disputing that the water is safe to drink.
We've never said that. The water could be super safe. It's the trust issue.
It's the person in charge of it.
And it's not just us. The community members believe that. We've had people come to the council meeting and stand up and talk about that. Hey, it's we don't trust him. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
And I would bet there's a high percentage of those who watch these podcasts and who are community members that would have that feel the same way.
Yeah, and it's important to note that an important city official approached me after the last city council meeting, and this individual expressed to me that, in his words, that Mr. Tipsword he's probably screwed. That was his words. He's probably going to go to jail.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's his personal opinion.
It's his personal opinion.
I don't think he has any insight.
No insight, but
inside
I think
knowledge.
the documents and the writing is on the wall that it's at least entirely possible that criminal charges may be coming down the line for him.
Well,
So-
and even if they're not, it's time to seriously look at Mr. Mayor. You've got to look at replacing this man, if for no other reason than to restore the trust of the community. That's the biggest reason right now, because we have the other investigations haven't come to completion yet. You have enough to do that right now with everything that's gone on, and show that you're listening to the members of the community.
So next up was a sewer rate discussion. There was some discussion about sewer rates.
Let's talk a little bit more about the water
Okay, go ahead.
department. Mr. Tipser did speak about the safety of the water, and then I believe he left the meeting right after that. But in regards to the water department, I asked the mayor if he had looked at fixing a computer issue at the water department that, because it's not fixed right now, is costing the community 2 hours of overtime at Aaron's overtime rate a day. And did you notice the? I felt he was condescending to my questions. I asked if he'd looked into it, and before I even got the question out, he said yes, we are, and then I asked if he had an idea when it was going to be fixed, and he had no idea whatsoever.
I've noticed that the mayor seems to be condescending to about 80% of what you ask him.
80? I was thinking higher than 80. But
Well,
And
being nice.
we'll get into more of that, because we're going to talk about that with his reaction, other people's reaction. You all talked, but the point is, this has been going on for more than a year and a half. According to Mr. Tipser, a year and a half at his pay, and someone else was doing it beforehand. Why hasn't it been addressed before now? It's an issue at the water department. This is the drinking water plant.
right.
Why hasn't it been addressed until now? Any thoughts on that? I mean, is it just, you think he knew, or is it just poor management that he didn't even know? Or does it really matter whether he knew or not? It shouldn't be happening.
The love of money.
Is the root of all evil.
Yes. And
When I say he, I'm talking about the mayor.
yeah,
Because the mayor's Aaron's boss.
yeah. But Mr. Tipsword is receiving about $41,000 a year extra pay for those 2 hours of overtime that he logs every night.
According to the information that Mr. Tipser gave us at a meeting 2 months ago, where he said he's doing that, he gets 2 hours of pay every day at home,
Right.
overtime pay, and his
Right.
overtime rate is like $112 an hour. For 2 hours, not an hour, for the 2 hours, 50 something an hour, 56 bucks an hour. So that's what we're basing that number on, is what he told us. Now, the mayor signs his checks. The mayor, this is another issue going back to when we were trying to get when I was trying to get time clocks installed.
Oh, yeah, the time clock.
Yeah, part of that process was, are the supervisors reviewing the timesheets, the handwritten timesheets of their subordinates. The mayor's subordinates are,
The department heads.
which are Mark
Mark Griggs
Griggs
Sr., Aaron Tipsword, Jim White, Chief of Police, and Grant McDonald.
Right.
Yep.
And up until that time, maybe 6 months ago, he had not been doing that all through his first term. So evidently he wasn't seeing the timesheet where Mr. Tipser was putting down these some of the.
Was he not aware of it because he didn't know he was supposed to be?
Well, that's what we were just talking about before you
Before my
came back in.
you realize you
coughing
guys
up
just make me cough.
coughing up
You
a
just
lung,
make me
yeah.
cough.
Yeah.
You made me cough in the other meeting, and
You must be allergic to Louie.
I'm going to start attending your church a lot more just to see. I'm going to test that theory.
please do so.
I will.
The point is, the mayor should have known, and it should have been taken care of a long time ago. that could have said, and I don't care what the repair would have cost. First of all, it needs to be done. It needs to be operating properly.
It does.
Yeah.
So we haven't even asked what the cost of repair what it is, because it really doesn't matter. It's supposed to be functioning properly. We shouldn't be paying somebody 2 hours overtime a night to check something on a computer. So it should have been fixed a long time ago, and that would have saved us $41,000 a year.
And you don't want to take these problems to the new one.
No,
Well,
this
that's
is the water
sewer plant.
department. This is water department.
This is the water
Water plant,
plant.
yeah.
This issue is at the water plant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Like I said,
you missed a lot.
I missed a
when you were
lot
out.
with that coughing thing, right?
You were
But
dying
we
in the
could
other
hear
room,
every
so.
minute that you were
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens. So the point is, it should have been taken care of a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I ask questions about it, I get pushback. If nothing else, condescending answers to my
Yep.
questions.
Yep.
We can do a whole nother podcast on this at another time. A lot of the issues going back to a year and a half ago, almost a year and a half ago now.
Well, I know exactly what caused it. You put your name forward. You were going to run for mayor.
Right, and then I supported his opponent.
Yeah.
Um,
And he takes that as a personal affront and,
Yeah.
and has decided to, in
he's
my
the one
opinion,
that
to
can't move
retaliate.
past this. Yeah,
He
it's not me. It's
decided
not
to retaliate. Yeah.
But my point is, going back to almost a year and a half ago, if you look at all the issues, and we can do a podcast on this sometime, or you can put out a list on your news page or on your personal page. Almost every issue we brought up,
Mm-hmm.
in some form or fashion, we took a lot of pushback. It took a lot of battling,
Mm-hmm.
but they've caved to
On
some
almost
degree
everything.
on almost every single. Even the time clock. At least they adjusted the time sheets where they had to put more a time. They weren't putting a time in and out on their
Nope.
sheets. They're doing that, and the mayor claims that he's now signing off on. There's always been a spot on there for him to sign off on his department head's time sheets. He claims he's doing that now. That's
Yep.
another subject for another
Yep.
day. But, so that was part of the water department issue. That's why I want to bring that up.
So sewer rate discussion.
Yep.
There was some discussion about the raising of sewer rates, I believe. And again, I have to admit, I kind of zoned out during this part of the. I wasn't feeling well Thursday evening at the meeting.
No, you weren't.
And
You weren't coughing, but
no, but I wasn't feeling well, and I tell you, I didn't feel well for the 2 days following the meeting either. I stayed home in bed almost exclusively the entire time. It was not good. But there is going to be a need for a sewer rate increase in the city. As unpopular as that may be, we will not meet the requirements of the special loans and grants that we need to build our new sewer plant. New
Right.
sewer plant, it's not a question. We have to have it.
or we don't get the news, sir. We can't.
We have to have the new sewer plant. We have to have the new sewer plant. It's absolutely required.
But that's not just because our current one is in such disrepair.
No, it's not.
It's because EPA. Go ahead. You can
Yeah,
explain.
EPA has adjusted their standards for the amount of certain nutrients in the effluent that goes into the river, and they're tightening the requirements to better protect the environment and ecosystem. And our current facility does not have the proper design requirements to limit those nutrients in the effluent. So we have to have a new facility with new technology that will properly treat the sewage before it's released into the river.
Right. Even if it was operating optimally, it couldn't.
Yeah, if it was operating as perfectly like it was day one,
Brand new.
it still would not limit. And I think it's potassium or phosphorus. I can't remember. It's one of the two. But both of those act as fertilizer. Anyway, those things have to be limited in the effluent that goes into the river, and
Yeah.
so we have to have it, and we cannot access the funding required. This is going to be a $20 million expense. The city doesn't have $20 million. So we have to have grants and low interest long-term loans in order for the city to be able to possibly afford to build this sewer plant.
All right.
And we will not be able to access those loans and grants unless our sewer department is self-sufficient, meaning that the sewer rates that we charge, that the city charges the citizens, that means us, is enough to pay for that department. And currently it's
It
not.
is not.
We have some of the lowest sewer rates in the area.
Right.
And I'm sure people appreciate that, but like I said, it's an unpopular thing, but the rates have to go up in order to allow us to borrow the money
Yep.
and get grants so we can build a new sewer plant.
Right.
So ultimately, it will be a good thing, but it'll just be it'll be an uncomfortable thing as well.
Yeah.
So, next up was citywide cleanup discussion. They had 4 different dates suggested, and the date that was approved was June 1st, 2026. That'll be the week of June 1st. We'll have a citywide cleanup again.
Yep.
The mayor indicated it's going to be a similar cost as it was last year. Last year it cost the city $28,800. It'll cost that approximately that as well. Some of the things that were discussed at the last council meeting and this one was our messaging. It's going to be very important that people know what days that your neighborhood is going to be participating in citywide cleanup. They're going to do it by section of the city. And if you put stuff out to the curb after your neighborhood has had its day,
It will not be picked up.
too bad. You're going to have to pay to have that stuff picked up.
Right.
Just as you should be paying now.
Yes.
You should not have stuff sitting out on the curb now.
Yeah, we can't take advantage of these companies and say, hey, I didn't get my stuff out in time. Can you please come back and do it? Because it overloads the trash company as well. So we have to do it right. Mattresses they have to be wrapped.
And if they're not wrapped, they will not be taken.
They
right?
will not even touch them if they're not wrapped. So that's going to be a thing. And I thank the city council. I applaud them for bringing citywide cleanup back yet again. This was a very popular thing when I campaigned for city council. People really love the idea of bringing it back.
Mr. Courtney was the one who suggested having it in the past.
Yeah.
Now, it was being done by city employees. It wasn't being done by the trash company, by Republic. But it was us and people associated with us who essentially did bring it back.
Right.
Well, you mentioned that so many of the things that we've pushed for have come to pass. This is one of them. And citywide cleanup is a popular thing, and we pushed very hard for it, and it is the second year in a row it's back.
Right.
So,
And I want to go through this story real quick again. It's going to be election time before we know it, and people need to remember where some of these positive changes have come from. We can give credit to the people in charge that have finally accepted our suggestions.
Yes.
But they've got to understand where these suggestions came from, and this citywide cleanup is one of them. And I attended a meeting and with a. Well, let me backtrack just a little bit. I brought up that I thought we should have it reinstated.
Right.
No one else has suggested it on the city council or nor the mayor. I brought it up. The mayor said, "Okay, we'll have a meeting of the subcommittee, the contract subcommittee, that's responsible for contracts because we have a contract with Republic." And I'm not on that subcommittee. I'm on the sanitation subcommittee, and I said, "Well, don't you this pertains to sanitation. Should sanitation committee be a part of that as well?" That's the only in a year and a half going back, I think, to October of 24. I think that's the only time a subcommittee that I'm on, the mayor has called a meeting. Now, I have the right to call those meetings as well, but the city council members that meet on the other subcommittees, they don't call those subcommittee meetings. The mayor does. Matter of fact, I was taken off of some subcommittees that I was on before and placed on some that were less significant. Anyhow, so I emailed him. I said, "Should the sanitation committee be a part of that?" He agreed. When I went in that subcommittee, I brought a half a dozen or more community members with me who wanted this brought back.
Yeah.
There was, I don't want to mention names because I'm not going to get them all, but there was at least a half a dozen. And when we sat down at that subcommittee meeting, the first thing that was said by the other committee was, our contract with Republic goes through, I think, the end of 27. So really, there's nothing more we can do about this until then.
Mm-hmm.
And they were getting ready to conclude the meeting, and I said, well, wait a minute, that doesn't mean we can't add to that contract. I'm sure this company, Republic, would be happy to take on more work and
money.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this started last year, and I want people to remember.
How long had it been since we had citywide before this was reinstated?
I think it was 3 years
That sounds about right.
that we didn't have
Yeah.
it, and people had accumulated a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I think if it's ran properly, there's not a lot of critics for the citywide cleanup.
No.
There are some, but I think if it's ran properly, it would be infinitely more popular.
About the mattress, though, does it matter what it's wrapped in? Clear plastic, black plastic, whatever.
Plastic.
I don't know.
Just as long as it's plastic.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. We could.
I'm
that's
not certain
important.
if it's clear or black, but it's got to be wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
Clear is probably the easiest.
So don't take your Christmas wrapping paper and put it over it.
Right. 'Cause it's not a Christmas present.
Unless it's plastic.
Yeah.
Sorry,
all right.
I'll let myself up.
So yeah. Only when you're coughing.
Oh, when I'm gone.
So I'd suggested there's 4 dates there. One of them was May the 4th.
Which would
I
be
suggest-
way too soon, right?
Yeah, I suggested that because I thought the sooner the better, and Teresa Green suggested a later date, and that sounded reasonable.
Yeah, she was right.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was
after
right.
the yard sale, townwide.
Yeah.
She suggested a yard sale as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good suggestions.
Yes,
I mean,
very.
that's
Now, I did have a question about this, and maybe I'm wrong, but a townwide yard sale did not appear on the agenda.
true.
How did it come to pass that the city council voted on a date for a townwide yard sale whenever it wasn't on the agenda?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was curious about that. I think we should have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should have it. I think it's probably okay because it's not going to be a something that the city pays for. There's no
Right.
expenditure of funds for the townwide yard sale.
And on the city
So-
townwide yard sale, we don't have to have a permit, right?
No.
You have to pay for the permit to have a sale.
Yeah. No.
So this is just
So
anybody can.
I think it's a good idea to have that have those two things coincide so that people can have a chance to go out and sell their stuff, and then put the stuff that doesn't sell out to the curb to get rid of it. So
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. It should have been anything that gets voted on is supposed to be on the agenda. That gives the public the opportunity to review the agenda. If there's something on there they want to come and speak about,
mhm.
then they can do that. So
unless
it
they're
should
going
have
to
been-
tie those two things together as part of the same thing, then I guess they could do that. But I was just curious about it whenever that was voted that way. So.
But it worked out okay.
It worked out, yeah. And I think Teresa was right that we needed to have that that townwide yard sale prior to
Yeah,
that.
I
So it was
appreciate her,
good.
her
Yep.
contribution to the discussion, and
Yep.
she had a great suggestion, and
So-
we went with it.
So for those who say all we want to do is tear down the people that we have opposed, because I ran against Teresa in the city council, that's not true. I think Teresa did it. I agree with Teresa on this, and I disagree with what you originally was going to do, is wanted it sooner
Yeah.
because of the time.
Yeah.
So we can do that. That's how
I
reasonable
thought that
people
because you
act.
drive around town now and people have that kind of stuff sitting out. That was my thought process.
Yeah,
is get it out.
reasonable.
Yeah.
I just sided the other way, and you ultimately did as well after she explained herself. So yeah,
Right.
So anyway, citywide cleanup the week of June 1st. So that's a positive thing. Next was, it says side-by-side discussion, and we didn't know what that was pertaining to. We didn't know if they were going to be purchasing a side-by-side for
the city
cemetery department,
cemetery,
but it turns out that another one of the initiatives that you and I
Another
pushed for
Another one.
a year and a half ago is
Golf
coming to
carts.
fruition.
I pushed golf carts. I've been pushing golf carts since the mayor's pushing 4 golf carts since the mayor's first term.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me during one conversation that I would never get golf carts approved by the city, and that while he was mayor, he would never allow that. Well, we have them.
Yeah.
And it was a fight. I mean, it was a silly fight. Every other community,
Yeah, Bridgeport's
Most
had
of
them.
the- yeah,
Bridgeport's had them for a long time.
Sumner,
And they're
Flora,
doing- yeah.
Mount Carmel, I think, Robinson, Vincent's.
But you still have some people in Lawrenceville, some friends of mine even said, oh, we don't need them because, we got enough crazy drivers. What? No.
And that's fine. You can have that opinion,
Oh, yeah.
but the majority, when I hadn't decided if I was going to back out of the mayor's race or not and support the mayor's competitor. When I was campaigning, 99, I want to say 100, but I'll stop short of 100%. I'll say 99% of people wanted the citywide cleanup. 80% wanted golf carts.
Mm-hmm.
10 people I talked to wanted golf carts.
I had one person push back whenever I was campaigning door to door. Said that they didn't want golf carts. One person.
And that's fine. Yeah. But the majority wanted it, so that's what we're here for. I voted for things that didn't help. I think we covered this in the past. I won't go through it again, but one particular issue that wasn't really good for my business, the restaurant I own, and I voted for that thing knowing it could potentially hurt some of my business. You know, we're not here to do just what we want, and that the mayor didn't want that for some reason, golf carts, and he wouldn't even entertain that idea. But again, we got it through. But during that process, how long we had golf carts now? Going on a year?
Going on a year, yeah.
I brought up on more than one occasion side by sides. They're even safer than golf carts. Why not side by side?
Yeah, they're more lights.
Yeah, and the mayor and another council member who's closely aligned with the mayor, I think the two of them have probably sat and talked about this. They were adamant about it. Nope, no side by sides, golf carts, that's it.
I remember one council member.
Now we're going to do side by side.
One council member during the discussion said that we shouldn't have the golf carts because they're so slow moving.
Yes.
And he voted against the side by sides. Well, they're not as slow moving.
I know. It's just,
they're fast.
They can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you remember, they wanted to keep them off of James Street.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. And here's the thing: if I need
see
something,
your brother.
Yes.
Well, not just Walmart, Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
If I wanted to go to Ace Hardware to buy some hardware, you know, and I don't have a golf cart, but if I want to get my golf cart, and I could go to Ace Hardware and pick up the hardware.
Well, just 2 or 3 days ago, I saw a golf cart drive up to the window at Sippet.
Yeah. Or if I'm going to get in my car, I might suddenly start thinking, well, you know, there's some other things I need as well. I'm just going to go to Vincennes and I'll stop at Lowe's. Yep. Now Lawrenceville misses out on tax revenue. Mm-hmm. So it's good for local business.
Yep. You know, and I've experienced getting behind a golf cart in town myself. And yes, they are slow, but almost every time I've done it, it brought a smile to my face because of the people in the golf cart. Mm-hmm. Enjoying our community. I've actually stopped and talked to almost every one of them that I've seen.
Yeah, don't go walking in town with him. He'll stop and talk to he'll talk to squirrels.
If they'll talk. Well, no, I'd prefer maybe they don't talk. Let me keep going.
Let you just keep going.
Let me keep going. I'm going to shake your hand. But yeah, you know, before I pulled them over, you know, and started talking to them, I get up behind them.
I remember we stopped that one guy with the double.
One time. Yep. And
that was cool.
But it was, you know, it brought a smile to my face whether it made me have to slow down or not, just to see that people, and it doesn't matter that we only have, the individual we talked to said that he had talked to the chief of police, there's only 20 in town. I don't care if there's only 2 in town. We didn't do this to make money off of it. I think the comment was made to someone about some city officials might have been a little bit upset that they haven't had enough permits sold to pay for the signs that we had to put out. Well, so what? You know, that's not what it's for. So anyhow, go back to the conversation.
If this city was so worried about
they
were so worried about saving money on the cost of a couple signs, then they would pay the bills on time to avoid the $500 plus per month in late fees and And they would fix the computer system at the water department to avoid $41,000 a year in overtime to one employee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sorry. Come on.
This needs to be run like a business.
Yes.
And sometimes a business expense is written off to public relations. Mm-hmm. And I think the golf cart issue, if you don't make enough money to pay for the signs, that's a PR issue. That's what people want.
Well, you know, the city subscribes. They have an ad every week in the Daily Record. Yeah, it's a 2x2 ad that I think is running about. I think it's like $30 a week. I have the records for it, but I'm wondering why are they doing that? And it's coming out of a public relations budget. Mm-hmm. You know, all it is, it says City of Lawrenceville, the address of City Hall, and the phone number. And honestly, I don't understand the need for it.
I don't either.
Other than maybe that $30 is keeping, a newspaper afloat.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, back to the side by side. We brought that up. I brought that up to the point of almost being ridiculed for bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we were doing golf carts.
I remember.
And lo and behold, it looks like it's going to go through.
If only they were recording the meetings back then, we could show people how dismissive several members of the council were. And,
Yep.
Speaking of dismissive of the golf carts, the mayor stated on Waco, and I think I have the recording of it. I'll have to look. That if you want to drive a golf cart, join the country club. Go to the golf course.
Mm-hmm. So dismissive, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a common thread with him.
Yep. So
we'll get to that.
Yes.
Old business, vacuum jet truck discussion.
Yeah.
City's still waiting for the vacuum and jet truck to become available. It's going to be $325,000. Is that right? Is that
the one they were looking at. They're talking like now that one's not going to be available.
Well, it's not available yet, but we haven't.
I thought they said they had to go to even a different company.
Well, they went to another company to find options, but the one that this other company is going to have that will suit our needs isn't going to be available for 10 or 11 months.
Right.
So, because as the mayor indicated, and he's probably right about this, that it is a seller's market for these kind of equipment. It's not a buyer's market, so we don't get to really dictate the terms on this. Mm-hmm. And I know what that's like working in the car business during COVID. It really was a seller's market then as well. So, yeah. So anyway, they did mention that the city had applied for a grant through Senator Tammy Duckworth's office.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yes, how interesting.
Dwayne, do you remember it was about an hour to 2 hour video conference call that we had with Katie Keller with Senator Duckworth's office?
Yeah.
And during that, we were asking for funding resources and such to help the city. Okay, because clearly all we're about is pointing out the inadequacies of the city and tearing everything down and not trying to build things
I've had about enough of that talk. For people that say that, I dismiss you because you're wrong.
Yeah,
you don't know what you're talking about.
So knowledge of this grant came about because of the advocacy done by not just myself and you, but other members of the group of our
during that meeting we
society.
had at least two or three other community members there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was a productive meeting. During that meeting, we addressed a lot of issues, but one of them was they were going to send us information about funding options to help with our infrastructure and such.
Right.
And through that, we got word of this grant, and the information was forwarded to our city treasurer. He brought it to a meeting last month, and it seemed as though maybe the city was going to drag their feet on this, but thankfully they did not. They got the application turned in. And hopefully we will get access to some free funds from the federal government to help with procuring this equipment that we need.
Right. Doesn't mean we'll get it, but it's at least we got the opportunity to ask for it.
And it's important again when we get that money, and those at City Hall when they take their victory lap for we got this big grant. I want to point out that they would have never known about this grant had we not got involved.
Well, they wouldn't be getting the truck. They wouldn't be getting the truck if we and other community members had not gotten involved. They wouldn't even be getting the truck. Which means, what's the truck do? It helps to maintain.
It helps sewer lines.
Sewer lines, clear them
and storm sewer lines.
Yeah.
Storm sewer and septic sewer.
So again, for those of you that say that all we're about is pointing out the problems, you got to acknowledge there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Before you can fix it, you got to.
The first step is acknowledging there's a problem.
I like the attitude. I'm being sarcastic. That there weren't any problems till you guys came. Oh, excuse me. The lights were off. We turned the lights on. Here's the problem. They were all there.
Yep.
We're just showing them to you.
Yeah. And we're not just pointing out the problems. We're also trying to find solutions.
Right.
Solutions.
Can you think, Keith, of one problem that we've actually created?
Created?
Yeah.
I mean,
when that light was on, was there not a problem over here in the corner that we took and set a problem there that we had to address?
And let's find a solution.
My point is, No, the problems were there. Like
They
you
were
said.
already there, right?
Yeah, we've not made any problems.
No.
No, but we've shined a light on some.
Yeah.
And in
And
hopes
they'd been
of,
getting worse if we hadn't.
and we shine a light on it, not so much to publicly embarrass anyone or anything of that nature.
No.
We shine a light on the problem so we can say, hey, look, there's a problem here. We need to put resources to
Right.
fixing this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of I'm sick, but I'm not going to go to the doctor because if I ignore it, I'll be all right. No, if you don't go to the doctor, you probably are going to die. So that it's just ignoring it won't make the problem go away.
Yeah,
Speaking
if
of
it's a
which, you
serious
should
problem,
probably
yeah.
see a doctor about this.
That's
I
Oh.
am.
Fix that cough.
I'm going to see Dr. Kimothy. Plug in for Dr. Kimothy about this cough. Yes,
Good.
I'm gonna say I'm proud of the work that we've done.
I am too.
And
too.
you know, initially the detractors, yeah, they could kind of get you down a little
They
bit.
can
but
wear
I'm
on you.
past
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
point. I'm done with them. None of them, not a single one of the detractors has ever offered a solution. They themselves point out problems with us,
With our
with
personalities.
the two of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
not offered any solutions to the issues that we've been talking about.
No.
I don't even think that they've offered solutions to fix our personalities, even Louis.
No, but you know
I'm
what? If any of them seriously want to have a productive sit down, we have agreed to meet with anyone, even people who, I'm sorry, some of these people, and not all of them, but some of these people who are pushing back against us, I swear to God, it's like they have two brain cells that are fighting for third place. It's
Yeah.
they're
it does
just
seem that way,
not
doesn't it?
smart people.
No,
And-
no.
You can quote me on that, okay?
Okay.
Two brain cells fighting for third place.
Yes.
That's what some of these people seem like.
And I'm honored, by the way, because during the meeting, he sounds like a preacher.
Yeah.
You are a preacher.
Yeah, I know, but here he goes again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Speaking
honored.
of that,
I'm honored.
You might have some solutions on how to fix our personalities.
Yeah, I might.
But the other people who are pointing out the problem, I'm just, yeah.
That solution is real
We'll
simple.
talk about that.
He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah.
So,
Amen. Preacher.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
so next up is department head reports. Aaron had already given his report. The chief of police was absent from this meeting. In his stead was Assistant Chief Mike Sitsinger.
Yeah.
We all know him as Doodle.
Yep, Doodle.
And so there was no department head report from the police department. But this is what struck me, and maybe I'm wrong. John Sapini, the administrative assistant at City Hall, got up during this portion of the meeting to give an impassioned speech about FOIA requests and FOIA response and all the extra hours that he works. Now, is John Sapini a department head?
No, not that I'm aware of.
So that was not a legitimate agenda item.
Probably not.
Okay. That's concerning that we can. If I didn't get my name in at the very beginning of the meeting to get up and speak my piece, I wouldn't be allowed or afforded the opportunity.
But now, if he was up there at the behest of the mayor, which we
No, he may
know,
have. Yeah.
and maybe the mayor should have announced that.
He should have been on the agenda because he's not a department head. That's just my opinion. So anyway,
Yeah. Again, if the mayor had asked him, he was there. He's a city employee.
Yeah, he is a city
Yeah.
employee.
he is an employee. He is. Yep.
Yeah.
And he has been.
I didn't have an issue with him talking.
I didn't have an issue. I was just curious about the legitimacy of how we structure these meetings and sticking to the agenda and doing things proper. Because I think the mayor clearly has a renewed interest in doing things proper because he required all speakers to state their name and their address. which is that is in accordance with the ordinance. So for a speaker to get up and address the city council. But I think it's important that the mayor and maybe the city attorney should look into First and Fourth Amendment protections. First Amendment being that you have a right to petition your government for a redress of grievances, and the Fourth Amendment meaning that I have a right to be secure in my information, my documents, my household, and such, my
Your
name.
address,
even.
yeah, your address.
And the Illinois Attorney General has also issued an opinion on this, stating that it may not be entirely lawful for a city government to require a resident to give their address in order to address the city council.
Yeah, and I've
So-
been on the council since I think 2017-ish.
Mm-hmm.
17, 18, I think it was late 17.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2017.
And was that the first time you were ever asked about?
I've never heard that done before.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
I do wonder why he did that.
under the First and Fourth Amendment, and City Attorney Mike Neal, you can fact check this, but if I raised my hand, I don't have to give my name. I don't have to give my address. I can say I'm a concerned citizen and I withhold my address. And I still have a right under the First Amendment to petition my government for a redress of grievances. I have a right of free expression. I have a right of free speech.
Yeah.
So, but this particular city attorney and mayor and one council member up there also seem to have issues with another part of the First Amendment, which is freedom of the press.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because there's been
That's in the past.
I've seen emails. Anyway, I could go on and on about this, but
Yeah.
Mr. Sapini,
But
go ahead.
I was just going to say, regarding what that subject just talking about, name and address, it may seem insignificant to some of the people watching, but it's the point of just, hold your government leaders' feet to the fire and make them do things properly. If you don't have to give that information, then don't give it.
Yeah.
Don't let that keep any of the community members. I hope that doesn't stop any community members.
I think it will.
From it, and maybe that was the purpose. I don't know.
I think
But
it will.
it shouldn't, and we need to let everyone know that it not to let that stop them from speaking.
Yeah, and if the mayor or the city attorney, I know the mayor watches these, or he has people reporting back to him that watch these.
Right.
If they would like to have information supporting what I said about that, then I'd be glad to email it to them. I emailed them, the city attorney and the mayor, about my thoughts on the First Amendment and freedom of the press, because of their contention that maybe I'm not qualified as a member of the free press.
And they
Blows-
acknowledging that you were.
It blows my mind that they would have a problem with acknowledging my constitutional rights. Dwayne, if you decided to write down on a piece of paper something that you witnessed at a city council meeting and pass it out to people, you are a member of the free press. There's no qualification to exercise your rights under the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So I need no credentials. One of the things they stated was that my news page, that if I registered my news page with Meta, who owns Facebook and Instagram and such, as a news agency or media outlet, then I would qualify. But I doubt Mr. Campbell has taken that step. Wrong-o. I did.
What did people do before Meta was around?
I guess they didn't have First Amendment rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
First Amendment right and a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin, I want to look it up. I want to find out if Benjamin Franklin attended university for journalism or not. Because he operated a newspaper.
He did.
Yeah. So, anyway, Mr.
Yeah.
Sapini, he spoke about the extra workload that's been thrust upon him for replying to Freedom of Information Act request.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that his speech was for my benefit, because I have submitted
I believe it.
a inordinate amount, a large number of FOIA requests. And I have a reason for the FOIA requests that I submit. And the fact is, our city clerk is our FOIA officer. He is the one responsible for conducting these FOIA researches and providing the answers to the FOIA. But lately, for the last several months, it is the city administrator. I don't know, administrative assistant, is that his title?
Yeah.
John Spinny, who has been responding to my FOIA request. So he's working a lot of extra hours. One of the FOIA requests I requested was communications between the mayor and any city employee dating back to September 2024. And he's been providing that information to me. But I can tell you that I'm not the only person submitting FOIA requests, because throughout these emails, and I'm telling you, well in excess of 1,000 pages of emails that they've sent me. In these emails, I see FOIA requests from other or entities, for-profit and not-for-profit, as well as news agencies requesting information from the city. Some of them.
You mean legitimate news agencies?
Oh yeah, they're legitimate, unlike myself. So.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, these are not personal emails.
No,
these are work
emails. Yep.
Yeah, we're not just trying to.
I noticed that some of them, they have to submit multiple requests because the city's not providing the information to them, which seems to be a pattern.
Yeah, there's been times in the past when I've asked for information as a city council member.
Mm-hmm.
I was not given that information, not even a response to the initial request saying, hey, we got it, we're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to turn around and make it a FOIA request.
Well, here's the
get the information.
Here's the funny part about it.
Don't complain about, and I'm not talking specifically to Mr. Sapini. I'm talking to, the mayor's administration. Don't complain about a problem that you've caused to some extent.
Well, it's funny about that, Dwayne. That there's a lot that these members of our city government, including the city attorney, the mayor, the city clerk, and the administrative assistant, who claims that he used FOIA quite a bit when he was a journalist himself. He was a sports writer, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But he may have had a journalism experience prior to being a sports writer. I don't know. But there's a lot that I think that maybe they don't know about the Illinois Freedom of Information Act. First
they
of
know
all,
by now.
You don't have to formally. You don't have to format your request in a certain way.
Yeah, right.
I'm very clear about my FOIA request because I want to make sure that I can hold their feet to the fire on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you write a piece of paper, say, I want, the W-2 information for all city employees for 2024, tear it off and hand it to the city clerk, that is a FOIA request.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to say at the very beginning, pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, blah, blah, blah.
Letterhead, typed out,
You don't have to do that. So your previous request in writing, that satisfies the requirements of the Illinois FOIA
Right,
law.
but there's been a few occasions that until I used the term FOIA.
You did not get any response, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and they were in violation
Dismissive.
They were in violation of law by not acknowledging your previous request. That request made in writing was a FOIA request.
Yeah.
I made a FOIA request to the Illinois EPA. They sent me back an email stating that I needed to ask for a specific document. So I replied to that and I CC'd the FOIA officer. I said, please consider this my official request for that document. That is a FOIA request. I didn't have to word it a specific way.
Yeah.
So anyway, this ties back into the bills of the city when we discussed hiring help for Mr. Nolan.
Right.
I think that the city probably should hire at least a part-time employee to help with
go between
with
the
this.
two.
Yeah, and honestly, go between the two. That FOIA responses is Mr. Sapini's job. It's
Correct.
Mr. Nolan's.
It's Mr. Nolan's, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe hire somebody who's familiar with all of this and bring them on as a part-time or maybe even a full-time
Maybe a
employee.
full-time person. If you're saying that we've had that in the past for the city clerk, maybe that's what we need.
I believe we have. So, but we need someone that can help, alleviate some of these issues. Is it going to cost the city some money?
Yeah.
I think so, but once we eliminate $74,400 a year of overtime for one city employee, we might be able to afford that.
Yeah, we might be able to afford that, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
anyway, next was public comments.
Next, yeah.
And anything else to add about Mr. Sapina before we move on?
I respect Mr. Sapini. I like Mr. Sapini.
He's very cordial with me.
Yeah.
Every time he emails, very
But
cordial.
I wish he would have came with more information, such as he did say now he's working, how many hours a month extra he said?
50,
Right.
50 hours
But
extra.
he gave a big number of hours and I forget what the number was. So
It was over 300 hours or
yeah,
something.
something like that. I wish he'd have said what
Yeah,
time
during
that
what-
was in.
Yeah, during what chunk of
frame.
time is that applicable? Yeah, that's important.
Right, right. So I just wish there was more information that
Mhm.
way. I think, that whole spiel was not done, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I don't feel like it was done in the right, what's the word I want to use here? It was done for other purposes than to just point out how much time he's spending. And if it was done for the purpose of trying to get people to not ask for FOIAs as much, you or anyone else, or to condemn those who are asking, that's not the right attitude.
No, and that's what it
Because
seemed.
you got to do it. That's what
I would agree. I would agree with what you said.
expound
It
on
just
that,
seemed as if he was attacking.
yeah.
Well, during
See what you're doing. You're doing all these FOIA requests, and
Yeah.
it's just it's getting to me, and I can't do it. And I can't get through it. And he was like pleading,
Are you okay?
yeah, I know, and just saying, please stop it, I can't do this. And the box on the chair,
Yeah. The visual.
the visual of all these FOIA requests. See,
Right, right. I hope they save those so they don't have to duplicate them for anyone else that might ask for some
I
information.
think a person should probably FOIA request all of the information that was in that
That was
box.
on that box.
I'm not going to submit it, but if anybody wants to submit a FOIA request requesting all of the documents that were in that box on display at the City Council meeting of April 9th, 2026, let me know. I'll help you format your FOIA response, your FOIA request.
It should be easy to do because it's all right there.
It's all right there. All they got to do is scan it and email it to you.
But I would hope that it was done in, with the right attitude.
Didn't appear to be, but yeah.
Which would be, hey, we have this thing that we have to comply with. It's called the law. Maybe we need some help for us to continue to comply with that.
And you mentioned
Not like, hey, we're doing all this extra work and he's the one creating the problem. We need to get him to stop because I
yeah.
don't want to do this work. No, hey, I got this work to do. We have to do it. Need some more help.
this isn't the only time they've had someone speak at the City Council meeting to demonize me for my FOIA request.
Yeah.
They had a Eddie Caliant from Ask Me.
That's one of
Get
our
up there.
most viewed
Yeah.
Podcast.
Well, it wasn't a podcast. It was a video that I uploaded
or video
to
onto
Facebook.
our
Yeah,
Facebook, our YouTube
So-
channel. Yeah.
it was popular. So I I have a right under the law to request these documents.
Yeah.
And anybody in the city or anybody anywhere can request these documents, and the city has to comply, provided that it's not unduly burdensome.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't take into consideration, that we've gotten 1,000 different FOIA requests from 1,000 different people that are unrelated as into their determination whether it's unduly burdensome. They have to look at your FOIA request. Is your FOIA request unduly burdensome? So I encourage people to hold their government accountable. But another thing I wanted to talk about, whenever you both agree that his impassioned plea to the council
Yes.
was basically directed toward my activities, FOIA request activities. I don't know who it was that was sitting right next to him. I know on his left, when he sat in the audience, was his wife, and to his right, sitting on the aisle,
As a gentleman.
was a man that the entire time Mr. Sapini was addressing the council was staring right through my head, was glaring at
I did
me.
not notice.
Violent look on his face, just really angrily glaring at me.
See, that's again
And-
the attitude that they came with that information.
Yeah, and I hope he doesn't think that he accomplished anything because Mr.
Eddie
Conley-
tried.
Eddie
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah, you did.
He was
What do we call him?
Eddie Manbun.
Eddie Man
Bun. But that wasn't a name that
Wait a minute. Shame on you guys.
we didn't.
Shame on you.
We didn't coin that term. Other people did.
Okay.
But it works.
But it worked.
So, But like I said of Eddie when he was clearly threatening me with lawfare, he did not intimidate me. He entertained me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it goes along with what you and I were talking about. I believe this information was brought to the council with the wrong attitude. And I don't know if it all came from Mr. Sapini. Again, I like him. I respect him.
Yeah, he's nice.
I just feel like it should have come forward in such a way that, hey, we have to do this. Can I get some?
It reminds me of what my dad told me when I was a little kid. Don't bother me with the facts. My mind is made up.
Did he really do that often?
He always said yes.
Did you try to bother him with the facts?
Of course.
So next was public comments.
Yeah.
We had two stellar, upstanding.
Were you at the same meeting I was at?
Gentlemen get up and speak. That would be myself and my dear cousin, Gavin's brother.
Never going to end, is it?
No. I spoke about the issues surrounding Mr. Tipsword.
Right.
And the petition that I had circulated online that has, as of today, has gotten just under 200 signatures.
Yes.
I brought those signatures to the city council. I addressed the fact of the notice to the operator and the complaint for sanctions against Mr. Tipsword. And I read aloud the allegations against him, as well as the opinion of the EPA that if he doesn't file for his appeal, that they are going to assume all the allegations are true.
But he did not file for the appeal.
Did not file for the appeal. I actually verified that. I got confirmation of that from the EPA earlier that day, before the meeting. Yes.
Oh, good.
He did not file for an appeal.
Oh, okay.
So they are moving forward with the sanctions.
Right.
I think it's necessary to terminate him. So I handed those signatures to the council for they can all review them.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor and other members of the council. I watched the video of the council meeting since then. They seemed wholly disinterested in anything that I had to say, which is fine.
It was a good word, wholly.
No, but the mayor was interested in that list.
He was interested in the list.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
He did review every name on that list, and I don't know for what reason. Hopefully not for retaliation, but hopefully for consideration of the need at hand to terminate Mr. Tipsword. So, and then
that would be out of character for him if that was the reason.
I hope it is though.
The latter, but
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he's going to.
Yeah.
But I know giving him the benefit of the doubt in the past has always ended in disappointment, but I'm going to give him another chance.
We've asked him numerous times to sit down and have a meeting.
We have.
And he still hasn't given. If you're not going to do it, just say no. I would respect you more if you just come and say no.
Instead of not saying anything.
But
just
to
not
say
even...
but to say I want to reconcile, okay, let's sit down and talk. I'll think about it. That's what he said.
Yeah, I'll take it into consideration, or we'll evaluate. No, he's not evaluating
Just say
anything.
no.
No way Jose would be better.
The evaluation is concluded as soon as he sees who that request came from. Oh, Louie Campbell. I evaluated it. Not happening.
He writes it off automatically.
Yeah. Dwayne Volkman. Not going to talk to him.
Right.
I will.
And now
pretend to engage with him at the council meeting as I sit back to ignore him.
Yeah, and now Keith Bellinger. He sees Keith Bellinger. Oh no.
Here we go.
That holier than thou preacher guy, whatever.
But you got up
to
speak.
Coughs a lot.
Or coughs a lot.
I want to cough a lot, yeah.
So you were saying, and
next
I got off track.
Next was Keith. He got up and he spoke, and I got to tell you, wow, you are an incredible public speaker. I mean, really, you are. And I hate to compliment you.
Well, thanks, guys.
I prefer to tease you.
Yeah.
But you are an incredible public speaker. You did a great job. And for those who haven't seen it, I invite you to watch the recording of the city council meeting.
I haven't even watched it, so
I
don't like listening to myself. So
you did an incredible job.
Neither do I.
I like to pride myself on being a good speaker, but you really hit a home run.
You did.
Did a great job.
You did.
Yeah.
I have to compliment him too. I would prefer to point out flaws, but
yeah, but we can't. Not this time. You did a great job. So
good job.
Maybe you'll screw up next time.
Well, I'll try.
But you know what I noticed during the time he was speaking? And it's on film, so anybody can watch it. For the first 2.5 minutes, maybe I'm wrong about the time, but the mayor had that list of names, and while you're speaking about something that everyone should have dropped what they were doing and paid attention to you, this is what I observed. reading through the whole list of names. 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
You cannot pay full attention to someone while you're reading something.
Not full.
And then after that, he took some time to shuffle some papers.
Yeah.
Again, it's just the wrong attitude. It's not an attitude of, hey, I work for you. You're talking. I'm sitting up here on this stage. Yes, I'm the mayor. Yes, I'm a council member. But we work for you. We need to listen to what you all, anyone else that gets up there. I don't care if you like them or not. I don't care, who it is. You need to give them your attention.
Yeah.
And you need to not be dismissive. You may not agree with what they're saying. And you know what? Maybe engage with them a little bit.
Yeah,
Let them say their 5 minutes and then engage with them.
Right.
Have either of you ever been engaged with by any of the council members to any significance? I don't think you have. You may have a couple times, maybe after you've sat down. But
They've never said a word to me.
you speak 5 minutes almost every time.
I can say that Dawn Brewer has engaged with me. We had to sit down with her.
No, I'm talking about while you're
Right there, right
at the
there.
meeting.
At the meeting. Early on, Ron Waldrop would ask me some questions. Dawn would ask some questions.
Right.
Okay, a handful of times.
Not a lot though.
Yeah. But when at
Yeah.
least when you're speaking, our attention should be on the person speaking.
Well, like you were talking about Washington, D.C., the guy interrupted you and said, oh, no. I work for you. You're not bothering me.
Yeah, the federal criminal EPA guy.
Well, that's
I was apologizing to him for rambling on like I was talking to the squirrels the other
And he
day
said,
on-
don't do
that
that.
you brought it.
Yeah, the squirrels.
Yeah, and he's like, no, don't apologize. I work for you, and I think he even said, and don't forget that I work for you.
It's important. And I had a recent interaction with an elected official at the state level, and there was some disagreement between the two of us. And I sent a message to remind this individual that an important distinction to make here, sir, is you work for me. I don't work for you. So I want to say to Victor Fritsch, Bob Hedge, although he's been very cordial to me.
Yes, he's been.
Bob
very-
Hedge, Dawn Brewer, Ron Waldrop, Mayor Courtney, Russell Goins,
Yeah, Russell Goins, yeah.
Jim Dunn, also very cordial to me. Dwayne Volkman. Am I missing?
Cordial most of the time to you.
Yeah,
Not all
most of the
Not
time.
all
Yeah. So anyway, if you set up there, Rodney Nolan, all that. Listen, guys, you work for me. I don't work for you. And if I owned a business and I'm speaking to my employee as you were speaking to your employees that day, and all they had to do was roll their eyes, sit back in their seat, start looking over their other papers like this, they are going to be in an unemployment line looking for another job.
Yep.
Unfortunately, these individuals are elected, so we can't fire them, and only half of them until next April.
Right. And wouldn't it be nice to have a group of individuals up there that would actually listen to what people have to say? You can't do everything that everybody wants.
Of course not.
But at least not only listen, engage with them, and if you can't do what they want, explain to them in a cordial way why you can't.
Right.
I can understand your concern, but here's why we can't do that, or here's why by law we can't do it, or here's why by the fact that we don't have the money to do it we can't. Something.
Well, yeah.
Don't just be dismissive.
A very good.
Don't just sit back in your chair, and we'll get to that in a minute. Whenever I.
They almost think it's a plaque. You know how you have the sayings on plaques? Dogs are not our whole life, but they are. Yeah, whatever. It's a plaque to them. You work for me. Yeah, that's on a plaque. It doesn't go beyond the plaque.
Yeah, it's not the attitude, is it?
Yeah, it's not in the heart. They don't really believe that. They don't really believe
You're
that.
talking about, making unpopular decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
But you listen to the constituency.
Right.
I have to say that if I was on that council, as a voting member of that council, and the discussion for a sewer rate increase came up, I would listen to the constituency. They don't want it to happen. I get it. I don't want it to happen. But I would have to vote for what's best for the city, and what's best for the city takes everything into consideration, which is, are we going to be able to get this new sewer plant so we're not fined millions and millions of dollars by the EPA? So I would vote for that unpopular thing because it's necessary.
Yeah.
But you still listen to constituents.
I'll give you an example of how that should work and how I was at a meeting where I saw that work in action. I don't agree with everything that happened at this meeting, but it was at a meeting several months ago at the courthouse when the county board met. And it was a packed house. They had to use the judges, or the courtroom, the big courtroom. It was that packed. People were standing in the back even when they were talking about the new tax increase. Right? Yeah, it was not a popular subject.
No.
But you know what? They let everybody talk, and everybody didn't have to go up to a podium. I kind of liked the way that the county board chairman ran the meeting for the most part. Raise your hand, say your piece. And they listened to everyone on that county board listened. There was nobody reading a piece of paper.
Wow.
There was nobody dismissing anyone. And they answered a lot of their concerns, and it was things that people didn't want to hear. And they ended up saying, here's why we have to do this increase. And they even brought out some numbers, and the amount of money they were collecting above what the expenditures was not that, not that big of a difference. They were just making ends meet. But and people weren't happy about it. But the county board took the time. No one dismissed anybody, and I thought, pretty good way to.
I do like the idea of the podium, though, specifically because I set up a camera and microphones to record our meetings, and one of the microphones is at the podium.
Right.
So
Right.
I do wish that whenever Mr. Tipsword or other, when Mr. Sapini came up to speak, he spoke at the podium. I wish he did that, so that the people who watch these videos from home can get the full audio of.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, at this meeting, it didn't happen that way, because a lot of the questions people were having were that came about as they were listening to the county board.
Right
They
then.
answered your question. Somebody, I have a question based on that. Hey, I got a question now. Now maybe they could have had them come up front and ask, but it wasn't like you had to have your questions ready, or you missed your opportunity. Some people asked questions more than once. It was a discussion back and forth, and
Right.
it didn't get out of hand, and it was on a heated topic.
Yeah.
And again, the main point of that is the county board was not dismissive of anyone,
Yep.
and none on the county board was not paying attention, as far as I could tell.
And I understand the need for structure and decorum. It's very important to have a productive meeting that doesn't go 4, 5, 6 hours.
Yes, and it was structured. You had to raise your hand, wait till you're done for somebody else to ask a question. The main point was the board was engaged.
Yes, they were engaged.
Yeah, that's the important part.
That
yeah,
does
absolutely.
not happen with this.
No, because there is no. They do not act as if this council. Almost every time they either look. I've said this before. They either look bored, irritated. Can we get this over with? And then the one thing when the mayor one time when you were asking us, oh my goodness, here we go again. What?
Yeah.
Why are we even having this meeting then? We're bothering you? It's like going to a restaurant and you ask for a meal and the guy goes, what do you want? Oh, I'm sorry, am I bothering you?
Yeah.
That's the way it looks,
Right.
I mean, it's just every time.
And it really, when that scenario happened about him leaning back, making eye contact with me at first, and he got irritated,
yes.
and I'll address that in a second. But it really irritated me even more when I looked at. Now I'm watching you as you're talking.
Yeah.
I wasn't really watching the rest of the council. When I watched the video later,
Yeah.
I got irritated over that. You're up there taking your time. You don't have to be there, and you show up to give your opinion, and your opinion is meant to help them. In your case, your opinion is meant to show, hey, here are some deficiencies, and we need to get these And when Mr. Horn was getting up and speaking before the Durants and and their family members and other people, Mitch Mikowitz, he had an issue. That was one of the issues that I brought up at the meeting, and I'll get into that in a second. when these people are coming up and taking their time, you need to pay attention. You need to deal with.
Well, even when the families came and some cried and all that, it's that same bored, irritated look every time,
Yeah.
no matter what the subject.
So it irritated me that they weren't paying attention when you guys were speaking. Then were you done with your talking about?
Yeah.
Then it was my turn to ask questions, and I asked about that $41 or $41,000 a year pay that were given to Mr. Tipser to monitor a computer at home when the plant should be automated to where no one should have to get that pay.
Right.
No one should have to be checking the computer at home. I also asked how the water deposits were being handled. I still am not clear. What kind of accounting method are they using? Did you understand that? I did not understand that. And
No,
the more I questioned, the more confused I mean, I know what they were saying, but how are they? Did you understand it? Let me, for everyone listening, here's what I asked. The old ordinance said they were supposed to pay a $50 right deposit.
$50 deposit.
But
Yep.
they were charging $200.
Yes, they were.
My first question was, we made the new ordinance saying that it's going to be $200, but the $200 that was collected under the old ordinance, which was $150 more than it should have been, right?
Right.
Are you then turning around and charging people, those same people, $200? In other words, you credit them and then you turn right around and charge them retroactively. The mayor said no, correct?
He said it's not
So in
retroactive.
my mind, I'm simple-minded here, so help me figure this out, guys. You should have been paying $50. You were charged $200, so you got a $150 credit, right?
Right.
Why not just show the $150 credit on your bill, and it's a running credit
Right.
until you use it up. So
Yeah.
this month you spend $50 in water. Now you got a $100 credit. Your bill should say negative $100,
Yep.
right? Next month you spend another 50. It should say negative $50 now. They're not doing that. Is that what I understood?
Yeah, that's not
From
what
the
they're doing.
bill I saw, no, they're not doing that.
They are not doing that, and every other utility that I can think of does that. So if I send $1,000 to AT&T for my cell phone bill, then I'm going to show a credit of $1,000 on there, and they're going to chip away at that credit every
Until
month.
it's gone.
It won't take a lot of months because my cell phone bill is giant.
Right.
But
Yeah.
because I provide my phone and several family members' phones, but still.
So
yeah.
the customer in this case, the Lawrenceville resident who got a $150 credit, they're going to have a $50 bill, then $50 credit, balance is zero. That's not your balance. Your balance is negative 100, right?
Yeah, but they're not showing
but
that.
now you've got to keep track of that yourself. And you know what the mayor's answer was? Have them call City Hall. Well, you know what? He did this with me on some other stuff, some behind the scenes stuff. One of them was some residents wanted a picnic table down at Wishnick.
Yes.
Their kids go down there and play ball, and they wanted to be able to sit down on a picnic table and take a break, drink water, visit, whatever they're doing. And his answer was, have the resident call me. No, wait a minute, no. First of all, if you don't want to recognize me as a council member, now I'm a resident, and I'm asking you to do it. Okay? Same thing with this. I'm a resident, deal with this issue because I asked you. Don't tell me to tell them. Explain to the public how it's working. Bottom line is, I don't think he really knows how it's working. So there's that. And I'm not going to accept this. I come to the mayor with an issue, and he says, have people call me. No, that's not working.
I have a message from a resident. I'm not going to list her name. But her brother, a friend of mine, recently passed away, and she's been handling his property and everything. And she asked me, do you know who heads the Lawrenceville City Water Department? I'm having a problem there. So I told her Aaron Tipsword is the utility superintendent. I just gave her, he's in charge. And her message to me was, some woman named Stacy is trying to stick me with a bill at her brother's property, even though all was handled through probate and taken care of. She screamed at me that she was not trying to scam me. Now, this is how many people have told me that they get spoken to when they call City Hall to talk about their water billing issues.
You know what?
So why would they want to call City Hall and talk about it?
Okay, and we don't know if we don't know what happened there. But I will say this in general: if that happened, that's a poor attitude. of the person working in the office.
Yeah.
Maybe they got frustrated. I get frustrated, and we all lose our temper.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that's the attitude that comes down from the top. We were talking about that earlier. Attitude. I got that written down here, and got a star by it several times. Attitude. It's the attitude that's come down from the top, and it just filters down. I'll bet you, if the attitude at the top was, "Don't you talk to city residents a certain way. I don't care how bad it gets, unless they're cussing you out," or
then the
something
attitude
like that.
would be better, right?
Yeah, that's different. Maybe you just terminate the call. But if the attitude at the top was different, you have to wonder, would that attitude filter down? Would it filter down to the people in the office? Would it filter down to people like Mr. Tipser?
Yeah.
An attitude of being a servant.
What we have
an
at
attitude
City
being
Hall.
grateful that we're paying for their jobs.
That's because what we have at City Hall isn't leadership; it's reactionship.
Yeah. And it's cover it up ship. Is that a word?
I don't know. I think I just made up a word, so we're good.
That did end in P.
Which one? Oh, the
It didn't sound like it did, but it did.
yeah. Oh yes,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Cover up ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we can look into that and help this person out.
Yeah.
And on that topic, I've been wanting to say this, and I didn't know if I want to put myself out there, but I want to make sure I qualify what I'm getting ready to say. If you, as a resident, genuinely can't afford to get rid of a piece of furniture that
Or a mattress or whatever.
yeah. Now, you might have to help me load it up, but if you can't, my phone number is at City Hall. Because you mentioned something at the end of your speech where you said even if it's a fellow resident needs help with a fence, I think you brought up.
Yeah, broken fence, yeah.
Help him, it wouldn't hurt.
Wouldn't hurt.
I'm going to offer this just not as a council member, but and I've helped a neighbor of mine do this. I'm not saying that for a pat on the back.
No.
I'm saying, this is the way we should be. And as a council member, I'll say, if you need help to get rid of a piece of furniture, for example, a large piece of trash that you can't get rid of any other way between now and city cleanup, you can reach out to me and I'll do what I can to help you.
Yeah, do what you can.
I'm not going to allow someone to take advantage of me.
No.
If you're a strong young man and you've got the money to do it, don't be contacting me. Or if you've got the means to do it. But if you're someone who can't do it, give me a call and I'll see what I can do. And maybe between the three of us, we can figure something out.
Right, sure.
During my speech, I also talked about the water deposits. I talked about, and I should have been a little bit more prepared on this, I guess, but there is a budget that we get, a line item budget, and it's not matching up, in my opinion, with the actual expenses. One thing I pointed out was there's a water budget, and it's like 2.5 pages long, I think. Then there's a sewer department budget. And one of the line items is shipping. And I know we're shipping out 3 samples a month through
A week.
or a week.
A week, yeah, I was gonna say a week, yeah.
$100 a pop at least. Those aren't being recorded on the sewer expense sheet. That fact, and it wasn't recording a few months ago. I pointed out it was overtime and double overtime wasn't being reported properly on those sheets either.
But Mr. Nolan kept trying to say, well, it's covered on this section or this.
He was saying it was being put in the water. Well, it's not a water expense; it's a sewer expense. And I had many more highlighted, but I saw where the discussion was going, so I didn't carry it any further.
No.
But again, Mr. Nolan or not, yeah, that's his responsibility. The mayor uses that paper to compile a budget for the next year, or we wouldn't be getting it. It's part of his compilation process, I would assume. Some of the information he looks at to see what we spent the previous year. That piece of paper is worthless if it's not accurate.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have that corrected,
Yeah,
and I'll be
that's
honest, another city official brought that to my attention. I had noticed it in the past too, but not to the extent that this person did. So I'm not taking full credit for all this stuff, but whenever it's an issue and you bring it up, it should be addressed with the proper attitude of, hey, it's
Well,
a problem, so we can fix it.
there you go again, trying to bring up the facts. Don't bother me with the facts. Yeah.
I also talked about how Bridgeport has made a wise decision.
Yes.
They have.
You want to talk about that decision?
Yeah, Bridgeport has made the decision to go with a different, with a contract company to provide contract water services to the city of Bridgeport.
Yes.
As their water operator. They had previously contracted with Aaron Tipsword, and there is some speculation that maybe they chose to go another direction because of all of the scrutiny that's been heaped on him by the Illinois EPA, and I do have on good authority that is a major deciding factor in why they went elsewhere. I happened to be shopping in Evansville with my youngest daughter. She wanted to go look at shoes. Imagine that. A teenage girl wanted to go look at shoes. And I ran into one of the city council members from the city of Bridgeport.
Oh, yeah.
And this individual confirmed to me that was a major reason that they had supported the idea of going a different direction. Was
Not because of you, but because of the EPA.
Because the EPA and all the scrutiny and the issues surrounding Aaron Tipsword's certification and the lack of public trust. So they wanted to alleviate the issues with that, so they went with a different provider.
And I implored our council and mayor to begin making wise decisions in that area too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll even say that there's at least two after the meeting. I'm not going to mention their names because they
No.
yeah, if they want to come out with this, they can. But plus, they weren't real definitive on it either. But well, you mentioned one of them earlier at the beginning of the meeting that are beginning to see that maybe we do need to make a change in leadership in that department.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, one of them said, "Well, why is he still here?" And I said, "Because you and the rest of them won't stand up and don't ask me. Ask the mayor why he's still here."
Yeah.
So there's stuff behind the scenes that people don't know about that is in support of us. Our detractors, every one of them, I believe, are turning it personal. And many of them, I won't say every one of them, but many of them are just personal friends of his, of Mr. Tipson's.
Oh, yeah, several of them.
I asked the mayor what the status was of the lab at the wastewater treatment plant. He said that we are submitting samples there now from there, but he doesn't know when it's going to, when our lab will be totally functional, where we don't have to spend the extra roughly $3,000 a month to have another lab involved. This is for the wastewater. I guess we're having a meeting on, we meaning the city, with the EPA on April 14th.
Yep.
Day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into what that meeting was for?
Well, that was in relation to the EPA submitting to Lawrenceville their intent to pursue legal action against the city of Lawrenceville. So they gave the city an opportunity to have a meeting before they chose to proceed with legal action. And the mayor mentioned that they may be able to go into a different compliance commitment agreement. I don't know how accurate that is. It may be accurate. It may be the fact that the EPA rejected their first CCA because it wasn't good enough, so they're going to give Lawrenceville another chance to enter into a CCA. I think that one line item on that CCA would be that the city terminates the person responsible for those departments and finds separate leadership. And one state elected official agrees that Mr. Tipsword should seek separate
He will
employment.
be at that meeting, by the way. Aaron Tisworth will be there.
Okay. Well,
Because the mayor said he would be there,
Yeah.
and then others.
And I have to wonder, I don't know this for a fact, but just, common sense would make me wonder, what if we had the mayor had been seeking out a replacement for him early on, be it an individual or a company that runs sewer plants for communities. There are companies out there that do that. And what if we had done that and they had been bringing those people to these meetings?
Yeah, that'd be good.
From my understanding, you can bring anyone that you want. Now, the reason you can't have more than one council member is because then you have the mayor and two council members, which would then violate the Open Meetings Act.
Right.
But I think the mayor could ask anyone else to come, and if he had, or if we'd already hired somebody or hired another company, and they were attending these meetings. I've talked to one person who has said that if they were involved, not them specifically, but if other people were involved than Aaron Tipser, it's quite possible that the EPA would have been a little bit more lenient on certain items. Can't go into detail on exactly what those were.
No.
And I know I'm being, it's kind of a general statement, but there are specific issues that I'm referring to.
Right.
That if this person were involved, that, maybe the EPA would have said, okay, we're going to give your town, more of a chance because we know that person will do it right. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense, yeah.
So, but I don't see us going that route, at least not right now.
Nope.
The last thing that I brought, well, two other things. There was a property that was on our last tax sale, and did you remember that back and forth?
Yes.
The point I was making was
on
it was at
8th Street. Yeah.
It was on the last tax sale and it wasn't voted on, it wasn't bid on, so it didn't sell. It is now the city's property according to the assessor's office, and I think that the attorney was just trying to make the point that we're not going to have another tax sale. That wasn't my point. My point was it was at a tax sale. Bottom line is, what does this individual here do? And it happened to be Mr. Mitch Mikowitz, who has been a very vocal, what you call it, opponent or of the mayor.
He's been holding the mayor's feet to the fire for sure. Yeah.
So I wonder, because I've been asking about this piece of property for many weeks, several weeks before the meeting, a couple of weeks, we'll say, but I think Mr. Mikowitz has been asking as well. I know he has. And we hadn't gotten anywhere that way. That's why I had to bring it up at the meeting, or the meeting would have lasted that much less, where I wouldn't have to address that issue, right? But I kept getting challenged, like I was trying to create another tax sale. Bottom line is, how does a person buy a piece of property that wasn't purchased at a tax sale? And we finally got somewhat of an answer.
The bids are given.
Yeah. And I hope the mayor carries through with that, because this individual wants to do something that would be community oriented with that piece of property.
Hopefully the property that I want next to Amazing Grace can end up that way.
Where does that stand right now?
Right now it stands that the SI resources are going to be, I guess, made to.
This is an old counseling center that's been abandoned.
Right. And they're going to be given an order to pay the third installment of taxes. And once they do, they will own it.
Okay, then you can.
Then I can, and then we can talk about the mowing for 6+ years and put a lien on the building, so they need to pay for that.
Right.
And anyway, when that happens, the first thing about the taxes happen, then I can get into it again and say, hey.
And get it back on the tax rolls.
Right.
At an amount that it should be. I don't know if it's being taxed less now because it's kind of an abandoned piece of property.
Well, it actually was never taxed in that way because it was a.
It's never been taxed.
It was a nonprofit.
But in your case,
but they made a mistake though in Lawrenceville. The lady that does this put them on a tax roll, but made the mistake. I said, you made the mistake because it's not a taxable thing. It's like a church, I guess. It's a nonprofit organization. Yeah, she goes, oh, apparently she didn't even know that. I don't know why she didn't know that she mistakenly put it on the tax thing, and that's what kind of goofed it up.
Okay.
It was never on a tax thing because
it was never supposed to be, but it was. It ended up being on.
Yeah, but they're a nonprofit,
right?
And they were always
non-profit. Supposed to be on there.
Right.
But hopefully you get an opportunity to get that piece of property. This other individual gets an opportunity to get his. But it took a while to
and I've already taken pictures. I will bring them. Don't know if I'll bring them to the secret meeting or not. This
is a super secret meeting of the Super Secret Meeting Society.
Okay. I have a lot of pictures.
We have capes and everything.
Of the
we do have reflective vests now for our
the community
trash pickup group.
Hey, we could put a big L and then have an Indian on our shirts. That'd make some people unhappy. But anyway, Anyway, I've been taking a lot of pictures of places with the address. Just showing you some things that are here in Lawrenceville that don't look so good.
They need to be. Yeah.
Even that property has grass this high. Hey, across from Amazing Grace,
right now, it
has not been mowed. So just something.
A So hopefully this individual gets an opportunity to purchase this piece of property.
Right.
He asked me to look into it. I tried to do it prior to the meeting. I didn't get a straight answer. And at the meeting, the mayor did end up taking the address down. Hopefully they get back with this individual. If they don't, Mitch, get back with me and I'll see what I can do. The last thing I talked about was there's a group of citizens that wanted to make some improvements in town, and one of the minor things that we're doing is just walking the streets and picking up trash off of the right of ways of the city. And we did the park before. We did the school as well, Parkview.
This is the main city park.
The main city park.
Yeah.
So the next one will be April 22nd of this April 22nd this month. We'll just meet at 4 p.m. at Wishnick, and we'll decide where to go from there.
Yep.
You know, depending on how many people show up. I'm sure Wishnick Park isn't going to take that long to walk and pick up trash, but we'll walk up and down some blocks. And
and it's important. The reason we chose that at one of our super secret meetings of the Super Secret Meeting Society, I love that. It was suggested that we do it on April 22nd because that is Earth Day. And what a good day to go clean up and make the city a little bit cleaner and more beautiful.
Yeah, and it's not just about that. It's about the fellowship.
Yep.
You and I experienced that with a young man here just recently. It was an unplanned one. He called up, wanted to do something. Actually, he thought we were picking up trash. He thought that was they were picking up trash when he reached out to me. I said, no, that was last week or 2 weeks ago. I said, but if you want to take a walk and talk, and we did. Me and
we did,
Keith and I, and he did.
And met some very interesting people.
Oh, yeah.
A squirrel.
Even a squirrel,
It was more about, we picked up probably, I don't know what, 4 5-gallon buckets of trash roughly. But it was more just about, visiting with one another. This young man had some issues he wanted to talk to you about. You were able to, to minister to him a little bit, I think. And we met several people in their yards. People stopped and talked to us. So that's what this is about. If you want to meet with us on April 22nd, 4 p.m. Wishnick, we'll take it from there. And we're not going to get the city involved in it. It was just too difficult before. I felt like I got some pushback on that. So we're going to do this on our own. We have our own.
And I think mainly because it was your idea, and they didn't want to have anything to do with this.
I think so. But we'll continue doing it. We're not going to give up. We'll just do it on our own.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do for the community. Idle hands are the workshop of the devil. So get your idle hands out there and put them to work cleaning up. I wish I could be there. That's on a Wednesday. I work from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Princeton, Indiana on Wednesdays. I won't be able to be at that one. Hopefully we can schedule one of these for a day that I'm off work, because I'd love to participate in these cleanups as well. And we're going to be doing them throughout the warm months of the year.
Yeah, and this should, blossom into other things too. It's not just picking up trash. Right. Do other things.
Yeah, we want to do things to help the community. And, for a bunch of people who only want to tear down the community, we sure are trying a lot to help the community, aren't we?
Yeah. I think it's important to notice that someone who was a supporter of the mayor brought this up on your...
Yeah.
Many months ago during the winter.
Yeah.
Or last fall.
Several months ago brought up that, would love to walk up and down the highway or whatever and pick up trash. And I thought it was a great idea. I brought it to your attention. And you said, well, share with this person if they want to do it. They're serious to get a hold of you.
Get a hold of me. They never did.
They never did. So we decided, that planted the seed.
Right.
And so we started planning for this, and we were just waiting for fair weather. Fair weather came about, and we did it.
I will say this, another person that pushed me into doing this was Mitch Mikowitz.
Yeah.
He was getting tired of seeing trash at the park, at the schools. Matter of fact, we should probably go to the right-of-ways at the schools as well. But yeah, he was instrumental in continuing that interest in me to do this. So.
Well, this will be an ongoing thing. So,
and I like the little picker-uppers.
Yeah,
I think it'll help the community quite a bit, and
for those with bad backs that can't bend down,
it'll help people have a little more pride in our community, though. I think it's a good thing. It's totally a good thing. So, next was on the list was Mr. Fritz. He had nothing to add. Mr. Mr. Goins was next. He mentioned that there was going to be a committee meeting. I don't remember exactly what he was announcing.
He's going to be a part of that for April
Yeah.
14th meeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. Yeah.
Teresa Green was next, and she thanked the city for helping with the Easter egg hunt that
Yes, yeah.
her organization that she's heavily involved with. The Delts had an Easter egg hunt at the city park. She thanked our volunteer group
Yeah.
for helping to clean up before the
She did.
event.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the acknowledgement for that. So
She also mentioned the thing about the wreaths. Yeah.
yeah, the Wreaths Across America, they're going to have a.
Did you write down the date?
I do have that information. Actually, I took a note because I plan on attending that evening.
It's not all you can eat, though.
It's not all you can eat.
At Alfonso's?
Yeah, Alfonso. Yeah.
Alfonso's, yeah. And I'm trying to find my note because I took a note on that.
I did too, but I did not bring that note with me. So,
I will have to.
it's soon.
Yeah, I will have to review.
I mean, it's
the
this month,
meeting.
is it not? I think it's this month.
It is this month.
Yeah.
Why do I not have that note on here? I don't know. So anyway,
They can look at the end of the council meeting video
Yeah.
and find it.
absolutely. So, but it's going to be at Alfonso's. It's going to be a spaghetti dinner to help fund the Wreaths Across America, which is it's definitely a worthwhile charity.
It is. Yeah.
She also spoke about the general state of the community and how she's seeing in her ward, which is the ward where I live, a lot of vehicles that are not properly tagged. The trash people put out to the curb, hoping that someone's going to go through their trash, another man's trash being another man's treasure.
Yes.
And she mentioned that nobody wants to take my trash. And that drew a lot of laughs from the audience.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree. I think people need to take advantage of the dumpster that's at the city garage, and if they're not able to do that because they don't have a truck, of course, like you had mentioned, if they don't have the means to contact you, and you'll see what you can do to help them. So next, Mr. Waldrop wasn't there.
Nope.
Mr. Dunn, don't recall him having anything to add. Mr. Hedge, he spoke as well about the trash around the community and how he drove around areas of the town he normally doesn't drive around.
He's frustrated too.
He's frustrated.
And he
with the
also
trash
said
as
about
well.
the police department, like if it isn't being taken care of after the citywide, that he would talk to them to hopefully make them even more enforce it, because it's not really being enforced much.
Yeah.
It needs to be enforced.
Well, I don't know how much enforcement is.
Allowed.
Yeah, so we're going to have to look into that a little.
And if there's no current enforcement mechanism within the city, then the council needs to take that issue up and
Yeah.
pass some ordinances that empowers the police
To be able to do something.
to issue citations.
Yeah.
That was explained to me by Mr. Sightsinger. Was he assistant
Assistant Chief of Police.
chief of police
So-
afterwards?
Oh,
That
doodle.
maybe the council needs to get more involved and establish an ordinance that gives them more teeth to
Yeah, we need to empower the police to address that
enforce
issue.
this
So
issue,
the next was the mayor's report. He mentioned that he had a couple thank you notes from some local organizations for the use of the armory and such. And that's what the armory's there for. It's for the people's enjoyment.
Right.
So, and next meeting is May 14th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at City Hall. It looks like the city council meeting, which lasted all of an hour, we've taken 2 hours to
We've
explain
doubled
it.
that, yeah.
So,
I couldn't believe it was just an hour, though.
yeah.
Amazing.
Now that we're done,
yeah.
let's turn it over to Keith.
You don't want to be
Say
in
what you have to say in between coughs, Keith.
Well, I am have to look at this cough, aren't I?
You are, yeah.
check
You should
that out.
check it
Well,
out.
it's not going away. That's the problem
A
here.
persistent cough, yeah.
Yeah. No, the only thing I would like to say is that I just really would hope that, like what my dad said, don't bother me with the facts. The council and the mayor and a lot of the people there are just bothered by the truth, by stating facts. They don't want to talk about all this. Just bury it, like you said, and it'll go away. But the whole thing is, I think it's the whole idea of why, I asked this before, I'll ask it again, why are you here? Why did they vote for you? Did they vote for you because they're just family, they're friends, or whatever? But are we here to help the community? If we're not here to help the community, let's get out. Mm-hmm. Because all you're doing is hurting the community, and that's kind of dumb. You live in this community; it's going to affect you as well. Mm-hmm. I just really think
there's no shame if you wanted to step down. No shame in it if you don't have the time or the interest.
Yeah.
They're not used to used the word earlier, scrutiny. They're not used to the scrutiny. They're not used to having their feet held to the fire. Mm-hmm. And I mean, almost to a person.
Yes.
There might be a couple.
Yeah.
But almost to a person. But most certainly, the mayor is not used to having his feet held to the fire. He's not used to the scrutiny. He's not used to being questioned.
Because if you are here, if you are elected only to, remember I said about the power and the money and all that, that's kind of ridiculous. But if you're only here just to, go through the motions, have a little fun here, whatever, you're hurting a lot of people here. This is a community of, 14,000 people in the county. Mm-hmm. Only 4,400 or so live in the city. Mm-hmm. But these are people, good people. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a sewer problem, a water problem, whatever problem it may be, trash problem, whatever. If they have a problem, you are elected to really get involved, heart, soul, and mind here, and to really try to help and to care about where you live. I don't see any compassion. That was the word I was looking for. I don't see any compassion on this board here for their community. It just seems like there's no compassion.
Something as simple as when you got done speaking.
Yeah.
Most of the people, a good portion of the people in the audience clapped.
Yeah.
I clapped.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else. And that's not just that time. If you go back and look at past meetings,
right.
And people get. They get done talking and everybody just sits there. Mm-hmm. They're just glad that they're done talking. Mm-hmm. And if at least, show something. Show some
they
appreciation.
They don't ever clap, though, do they?
No. And show appreciation that they got up and spoke, if nothing else.
Yeah.
But I can't understand why no one is actually engaged with someone in a conversation about their concerns. That's your boss talking to you. We're up here on the podium sitting behind the desk. But we're the employee. That's the boss. The boss is talking to you. You should probably engage with that person. And I don't mean just by listening to them. I mean maybe after they've said their 5 minutes, because you don't want to take their time up.
Yeah.
Then ask them. Hey, okay, I understand you have this concern. What can we do to fix it? And I'm not talking just about the sewer plant. A good example would be this sale of this property.
Right.
So what can we do to help you, Mr. Citizen? That was not the attitude that I saw. But did you all? Did I misread that?
Or the lawyer?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, come on now, don't
lawyer, mayor. The attitude should have been, "Oh, I get it. Someone wants to buy a piece of property that the city holds that is not bringing in any tax revenue. How can we make that happen?" Yeah. That's how it should have been done.
And it was
absolutely.
Not. And it was not. No.
Yeah.
No. That's the attitude that should have happened 2 weeks earlier when I was asking the mayor via email. How do we get this accomplished?
Lack of concern. It seems as if, I always use that word, it seems as if they don't care enough to even give it a second thought.
Yeah.
You notice that most of the council are never prepared. Not even a second thought. Oh yeah, I guess I could have read something or gotten prepared for this meeting. No, they were not.
I get a little, and it's in jest. I'm not suggesting that they're actually serious about it, but I get ridiculed a little bit for bringing the stuff that I bring, and everything I bring, I'm not going to talk about, but it's there in case I need to refer to it.
Yeah.
So I get there's a little jest that happens there, but again, if you're not interested, then don't take the job. And I'll give you an example of that. It has been suggested by some people would be against me, 100% if I ran for mayor. But there's been others that said, hey, maybe you should run. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in being mayor. And one of the reasons is because I know that I would not devote the time to doing that
Oh,
job
yeah, right.
as it deserves.
As it deserves.
That's number one. Number two,
I respect that.
I know that there's someone else who is much more educated on how to use resources such as AI research, and just is very knowledgeable about things, and that's you. Why I'm not interested in the job. There's someone else that is better at it, would be better in my opinion at it than I am. If for no other reason, then you would devote more time and energy to it than I would. I've got other things going on in my life, and I've devoted plenty of time to my council position. I believe I'm fulfilling what's expected of me there, and then some. But I could not, in good conscience, take the mayor's position, even if I thought I could win, because I'm not going to devote the kind of time. I'm not going to be able to devote the kind of time.
I want to interject. That is not an announcement.
What is not?
That endorsement is not an announcement.
No,
there's no official announcements here being made other than
none at
that
all.
I do plan on running for city council again,
Yeah.
and very likely the next election.
Here's an illustration, though. I was voted in to be the minister of Amazing Grace. Now, if I came, this morning, if I was there this morning, I get up and go, I'm sorry. Oh, man, I knew there was something I was supposed to do. I was supposed to write a sermon.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, let's have prayer. You all have a good day. Okay, that's ridiculous. Not being prepared at all?
Yeah.
No, I need to be prepared every time I'm supposed to be prepared. In this instance, twice a week for Bible study and all that. But this council, I haven't seen too many of them being prepared.
To do less than being prepared is a dereliction of your duty.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of dereliction.
And I wouldn't last very long.
On that council.
I bet you I could go maybe 2 weeks without a sermon. I'd be gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith.
The people
we don't
that
need you
you're
anymore.
working for,
Yes, would not need
would
my
not
services.
Need your services, and so to go back to what I was saying. I know it wasn't an announcement. I would go as far as to say, if the election were tomorrow,
Yeah.
and it was Mr. Courtney was on the ballot again, I wouldn't run against him. I've said before I don't want it. I wouldn't run against him because what he does with the position, that's on him. I just know that I personally couldn't devote the time that it needs and the energy that it would require. I'm happy to help someone, whoever that person might be,
Right.
in that position, if they're willing to take my help. I'm happy to do that. But if you're not going to devote the time and energy,
Then why are we doing it?
exactly.
I do look forward to being on that council with you. And
Yeah.
I think that we can accomplish a lot of good things for the city
I'd
of
like
Lawrenceville.
to see some other
So-
people on there as well that would be willing to, devote the energy and time that's expected of them for that.
And you're on the council, aren't you concerned, I don't know about worry, but are you concerned about how do I look up here? Am I doing a decent job? Do I care about what these people actually think of me? When I look up there, they don't look good. I mean, it's not looking good.
Well, I see in a lot of our, because we post these videos to YouTube, and
Yes.
we post the recordings of the meetings to YouTube, and I see a recurring theme of Dwayne Volkman seems the only one on that council who gives a damn about the people he serves.
He's the only one speaking.
Yeah.
Usually,
And,
usually the only one speaking.
And I'm not gonna say that I agree 100% that you're the only one that cares.
No.
I don't think that's true, but you are so far the only one who's really putting in a lot of time on research to research the issues that you have to vote about. And I think that other council members need to take at least an hour out of your week and do some research on the things you have to vote about. Don't just show up at a committee meeting and think you've done your due diligence.
Or call me up and collaborate with me a little bit.
Yep.
I'm willing to do that. Do you realize how much easier my life would be if I hadn't taken up some of these, for lack of a better term, we'll call them fights that we've been having lately? I'm sorry that we have to call it that, but if I was doing what some of the other council members would be doing, life would be so much simpler.
Yeah, and by the way, not all of them have jobs. Because I remember they asked Dwayne, "Do you even have a job?" There's several on that council meeting. They don't have full time.
there's,
They don't have full time jobs.
I think there's only one that does. Dawn does work for the CEO program.
Yeah, Teresa.
Dawn and Teresa, I think.
Yeah. But you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that how much easier your life would be. Do you know how much easier your re-election campaign would be had you not taken on all this? Because of the scrutiny, they're going to find someone to run against you.
Yeah.
They're going to put a lot of resources behind someone to run against you to get you off that council.
And you know what? If I lose, I hope it's somebody that'll do a better job than
Yeah,
me.
there you go.
Yeah, I respect that. But you could have been complacent and you would have had an easy re-election run because they're just going to vote for who's already on there.
Right.
So,
Or not vote at all.
or not
which
vote
is
at all.
typically-
Yeah, that's typical.
And
of
I
our state.
understand. Yeah, I realize that's going to happen this time, and again, that's fine. I just hope that if I do lose, that it's someone who does a better job.
Yeah, well, I just hope you don't lose. So, anyway, I think we've had a really good, long discussion here today. So, to everybody out there, I want to thank you for watching this episode of the Local Lens, Lawrenceville Unfiltered. Please make sure that you like the video, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, share this on all your social media, get the word out there far and wide, and hopefully we'll see you on another episode in the future. Until then, peace. Awesome, very good. Yeehaw, as they say.
And next time, if I'm ever in a meeting again,
Look at this,
I'll
you think
try
you're
not
hanging?
to cough.
Don't leave me hanging.
I don't believe you.